I was never unfaithful to her. I never mistreated her. I never let money run short at home. I thought that was enough. 3 months ago, she asked me for a divorce.
First of all, what the man is saying to me sounds like the barest minimum. It's your wife, and she's saying she feels alone, and you're saying you work, you didn't cheat, you provide, and you spend 10 hours out. I'm like, I feel alone, and your response is, I'm working, I'm doing, like,
I told my wife, just get a job of 120k. I'll be a stay-at-home dad.
I forgot.
We even forgot the tea.
Cold. You were spilling the tea and you forgot the tea.
And you forgot it.
Lucky.
We came across a question on Twitter. Is this still called Twitter?
X.
On X. And this question is a very relatable one. And I got my friends here. Here we have Prince and Edith.
Hi.
Prince and Edith are a couple, one of the hottest couple in town. How have you guys been? It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Wow, I've missed you guys.
We miss you too. That's why we're here.
You guys really.
Yeah.
So,
We're here.
we'll just go over that question. Like I said, this question is very relatable to things that are happening in marriage, in relationships around. I just want to get your idea and see how. I want to get your take on it. What do you think? Maybe you just want to read the question for us and then we chat about it.
I think I have a question here. It says, my wife and I have been married for 9 years. I'm 38. She's 36. We have a 5-year-old daughter. I was never unfaithful to her. I never mistreated her. I never let money run short at home. I thought that was enough. 3 months ago, she asked me for a divorce. I'm not happy anymore, she told me. She didn't yell, she didn't cry. She didn't accuse me of anything. She just kept repeating, I feel alone with you. That made me furious. Alone? I worked 10 hours a day for them. I paid for everything. I never went out with friends. What more do you want? I asked her. Her answer was short. For you to look at me when I talk to you. I stayed silent. That night I went over last year. There were no affairs. There was no violence. There was no big fight. Just small absences. Dinners, staring at the phone, conversations interrupted. We'll talk later. There was never a scandal. It was a silent wearing down. We signed the divorce papers last week. Yesterday I went to pick up my daughter. My ex opened the door. She smiled. She looked calm. She wasn't with anyone else. There was no other man. There was only peace. While I was driving back, I finally understood something no one else tells you. You won't lose your partner only because of what you do wrong. You can also lose her because of what you stop doing. And indifference is a slow form of abandonment.
Wow. So that might have been, I don't know if it's a real life scenario, but I've seen real life scenarios play that way of one couple checking out or one of the spouses checking out and the other person is just saying, I don't understand. What did I do wrong? And the other person is fuming or just like in this case, calm, but just saying, I just want peace. I just want to save my life. Or I'm just living for my mental health.
True.
That is just the most popular word we hear. Just to keep my mental health safe. What do you guys think?
Why are you looking
You
at
have to
me?
go first.
I don't mind going. I think there's a disconnect. And I feel like the last statement that was made at the end of the story that was shared just summarizes it in terms of the man saying something. You might not do anything wrong, but your indifference and inaction, I might be paraphrasing, can be causing harm and all of that. Because when I first read the story, first of all, what the man is saying to me sounds like the barest minimum. It's your wife, and she's saying she feels alone, and you're saying you work, you didn't cheat, you provide, and you spend 10 hours out. I'm like, I feel alone, and your response is, I'm working, I'm doing. It's first of all, it's a miscommunication because like she's saying one thing and you're hearing something else, or you're understanding something else, and your response even shows that you don't understand what she's saying. Because I would always say that marriage is friendship and communication is everything, first of all, because it's like I feel alone if my spouse or even a friend tells me I feel alone, maybe because of the kind of person I am. I want to know what it means to that person. What does feeling alone mean to you? And how can I make you feel less alone? That should be like either because this thing can happen to the man or the woman. It can be anybody that this would happen to.
True.
And my thought as a spouse or even as a friend would be, how can I make you feel less alone in this marriage? And I can't be telling you I feel alone and you're telling me, oh, I've not cheated on you. He even said the subtle things there, just a few absences, interruptions while talking. Those are like red flags.
Exactly.
Interruptions.
He knows
Interruptions while
what's that,
talking,
you know,
small arguments here and there, staring at the phone. These are moments where you should have connected with your partner or your spouse. So she just said, I just want you to look at me. It sounds small, and I know that we like to use the word, it's not that deep. It sounds like something that can be trivialized, but it's actually a big thing. And imagine living with somebody, at least as a married couple, with them in the house every day, or I don't know how many hours you spend, and every time they're with you, they're on their phone. Come on, what are you saying? For me, I feel like there's a disconnect. The communication wasn't there, and that indifference or inaction is like you didn't do anything. I don't know, it's just a lot. For me, first of all, I think I read it a few days ago when you shared the link with me, and like I had forgotten about it, but when you brought it up again, I was like, it has to be like unmet needs. But like reading into the detail now, it's still that unmet need, and it's emotional. It's like everything.
Neglect, emotional neglect.
It's that indifference and inaction, and he knows. I mean, whoever wrote the story said
relationship or marriage is about communication. It sounds like a cliche, but I think it's the bedrock of everything.
So.
I've rarely seen a relationship not work between two people that are ready to talk about it, to listen to themselves and talk about it. Prince, let's have your take.
I think one misconception that men have is the fact that they feel their only role is to provide. Because if you look at the question when he was listing out everything, he said, "I work 10 hours. I do this. I do that. I do."
I don't cheat.
I don't cheat. It's more like I saw a post one day and somebody was saying something. He was trying to brag to his wife, and he was saying, "All my friends cheat except me." And then when his wife said, "Let me call them and find out," he said, "There's no need." That's just like out of the box. But like for him to say, "I don't cheat," there was no affair and stuff like that. But it goes beyond just providing. Before someone checks out of a relationship, it's not something that happens instantly. It's built over time, right? It starts with maybe birthdays or special occasions, or maybe not even special occasions or anything. Just like the little things. Come back from work.
I'm not even noticing.
I want to tell you about my day. You don't even know. It's so bad to the extent that sometimes your spouse might be sick and you might not even notice. He's saying few absences. What's few absences?
For him to even call it that few absences,
that means it might be more. Before someone checks out like that, and then of course there must have been times when she tries to get his attention, like, "Hey babe, we need to talk," and he'll be like, "Oh no, later," or he's on his phone, or he's hanging out with friends, just neglecting his primary assignment or top priority, which is his family, his spouse. Now, what baffles me is when men come out and they are shocked, because this is someone that has been trying to communicate with you. "Oh, I'm feeling this way. Something's not right. Let's try and work on our communication, our relationship." And then all of a sudden, maybe like let's say 6 months, 1 year, they just say, "You know what? I feel alone. I'm tired. I want a divorce." You're now surprised. I don't understand. From where to where? Why? At that point, they now have your attention. You're like, "Oh, let's talk."
By that time,
He's late. My problem is a lot of men focus on providing than being present, and that is a major problem in. I don't want to generalize to say African homes, but I've noticed is a general problem, because I've heard stories, I've watched stuff, and it's cut across board that a lot of men are focusing on providing than actually being present. And what that does is just the way we talk about parents being present in the life of their children and like the children not going outside to listen to other people. It's the same way it happens with spouses. You don't have time for your spouse, and she or he is getting the attention outside. What happens is they find out like, oh, this person I have at home is of no use to me. That's one aspect. Now, coming to diaspora marriages, now a lot of family dynamics with people in diaspora is the spouses are working 12-hour shift, and most times they just switch at the door. You drop you're switching the key at the door. Either you're switching car key or house key, or you're switching your child, or you're switching your handover. Thank you, that's the word. You just like, oh babe, okay, babe, take the baby with the stroller, and over time.
And because the system is designed for you to walk, people get really entrenched.
Before you know, you're lost in the job. The job has taken more of your time. You're more attached to people at work, your colleagues at work, than you are to your spouse. Of course. And before you know, the person at home is just a housemate. And then it also starts with things like you forget birthdays, you forget anniversaries, you forget your child's birthday, checking, how was your day, and stuff like that. Then something now happens. You're like, I don't think I can continue with this cycle. It can go both ways. This one happened. This one is the guy asking the question, right? It can happen like that. It's delayed, but really, I feel like men need to really be intentional. Yes, we should be providers, we should be protectors and all that. But in providing, in protecting, in caring for the family, you have to face your priority, your primary assignment, which is your spouse. Always check in. One thing I know that I do personally is I always ask my wife, how are you? How are you sounds like a simple question, but the question, so it goes beyond saying I'm fine. The question is, how are you? How, like, really, how are you? And you find out that most times when you really press in on that question, how
a lot of things
exactly what it now tells me is, okay, in my head, why did you say you're fine? But if I'm not intentional, if I'm not intentional to really know, because it's a case of you're looking at the person. If you're actually looking at the person and you're asking, how are you? So it's a case of, how are you? I'm telling you I'm fine. You understand? If I tell you I'm fine, it's believable.
You're also looking at the body
language. I'm telling you I'm fine. There's nothing fine about this, auntie. It's now left for you to be sensitive as the husband and say no, you're not fine.
Even
exactly.
You in a place be with your spouse on a daily basis, and you don't notice when he or she is changing,
because she mentioned he doesn't look at her.
I just look at me.
Because if you are my roommate, then
that's the frustration. That's why she was like, I'd rather be alone at this point. Let me just be alone. Because sometimes when you're in that shared space with the person and they are not trying to make any effort, I believe maybe she might have spoken about it or something, or she would have tried, and like nothing is coming out. You get to that point of frustration where it's like you're saying the same thing every day, and it begins to again get you upset in a way that it begins to affect your mental health. It's best for you to just leave that space and all of that.
And also she might have tried to get his attention so many times, and because he's distracted, either hanging out with friends or pressing his phone and stuff like that, it's a case of, oh babe, I want to talk to you later. There's no time you say, let's have a discussion. And that's why I blame him, because why is he surprised that, because a part of some people will say, oh, why didn't she talk to him? Why didn't she make time, like have a discussion? Communication would have helped him. He shouldn't have gotten to a divorce. But where is the time when he's not looking at her, he's not listening to her? If he's not hanging out with friends, he's pressing his phone, he's watching matches. There's actually no space. Oh, can I talk to you? Oh, I'm out. Oh, can I talk to you? There's something. There's always something in the way.
I feel so terrible because I know this is what is happening in so many relationships. I made a post on, I think, my Instagram page some days ago about asking, or I can't remember the particular post, but it was saying when you guys are no longer, you are more of roommates and than lovers. And it really resonated with so many people, even people that were not following me. And I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
that means it's a major issue. In fact, people were tagging their spouses.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, and not even Africans.
Wow.
Diverse people. They were just tagging people to that particular post.
Wow.
That's one of every other post I made last week. And I'm like, oh, this is a major thing. So what I want to ask you guys is, what do people do before it gets, we don't want it to get to that point of divorce before people wake up. This guy is maybe surprised because maybe apart from getting him to talk, apart from the wife getting him to talk, what other thing could she have done before resulting or before resolving to divorce? Are there other things she can use to mitigate or other factors to help maybe talk to people or go for counseling or therapy or community or something? Just practical ways that people in this kind of situation that are not getting attention from their spouses, they are feeling emotionally neglected, what can they do to help the situation in real time?
You want to go first?
Sure, that's fine.
Because you've already said things that people can do to prevent the issue. Talk more about people, talk more with your spouse, look at their faces, create time. But people that are already at that bridge now, what can they do?
It's tough if you're already at that bridge, and it's a sad place to be. I really empathize with people who are going through that kind of thing, because I feel like to make it work, both parties have to be, they have to desire it. They have to want it. For me, most times I feel like for partners to have gotten to this point, like we were saying earlier, one person must have checked out. And I want to say that men don't know when, I don't know, I wanted to say that men don't know when they are doing these things, but I think the right word is that, if I was going to phrase it, what comes to my mind is that most people lack emotional awareness. There's emotional intelligence and all of that.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Because like we were saying, most men are more aware of providing for the family. They are not quite aware of like the presence part. And even the presence part, like a lot of people delegate other aspects of marriage or like parental responsibilities to the woman. They just know, oh, I'm providing, I'm working, and like she'll take care of like everything else, the home and all of that. The practical thing that comes to my mind is just being part of each other's daily routine, because marriage is first of all about companionship. And sometimes when you get married, even dating, what draws people together is that they're always talking, and then they are part of your day. Either you're on the phone or you're texting, you're telling them about your day, you're doing things together and all of that. You stop. What do you expect? And so it has to be like a daily connection from the morning to like afternoon and evening. There has to be like a touch point with your spouse. And if it's not happening on a daily basis, I don't know the big thing that you can do. That's how it's difficult when it has got to that point. It's like going back to the basics again.
Yeah.
Start even when you wake up in the morning. When you become like roommates, it's just like, oh, I'm laughing because I remember this thing on social media where it's like, oh, before you get married, it's like you're in each other's faces, cuddle me and all of that. And then when you're married, it's like you're breathing too much. But then again, like if we are talking about daily practical things, when you wake up, if you still sleep in the same bed or in the same room, say hi to each other, or like say good morning or whatever it is you do. Stay in each other's presence, but don't pick up your phone. People wake up and it's like maybe you want to pick up their alarm or like stop the alarm. They're scrolling on social media. Before you touch change it. If you want to touch your phone, touch your spouse. How was your night? Did you sleep well? And all of that. That connection should be there, either physically or verbally, but you need to like make that constant connection. That's the only practical thing I can think of. And making each other like part of your daily routine. If you're driving to work, or if we've talked about this before, if you're walking, you have to take the bus or the train or whatever. Walk each other, just get a hug from each other or kiss, tell each other about your day. Just something, like there has to be a touch point. Have dinner or lunch together. Don't go to bed without not talking to each other. And I think a lot of people talk about it these days, phone and social media. when you want to come back, the way that a lot of us think about trying to distress or decompress from the day that we've had out there is scrolling on the phone. You're tired and you just want to like chill. And what are you chilling with? You're just lying down and scrolling on your phone. It's taking the time that you should be connecting with your spouse. And most times, again, like I said, during the dating phase and all of that, when you come back, you want to tell all the things that you've experienced out there to your partner. Now you're married, it's like just scrolling your phone and all. Tell him, how was your day? Beyond, he talked about how are you and all of that. How was your day? Just the way to in parenting, you want to know what happened in your child's life that day. What happened? Do you get? Talk about it. It gets to a point where people are not even able to like talk about this. They're just like, oh, a normal work day. It's being dismissive because it's an opportunity to connect. It's a normal work day, but like what happened? There's no way you go through your day
That's
if you go out. That's something
Did not happen. Yeah, I know.
so there has to be like something. I think it's just like making the person a part of your daily routine in marriage. And I know that most times responsibility is what takes away from us connecting with each other. There are times where it's like you're always talking about responsibility. We have bills to pay, or we have this to do. You're thinking about the next thing the kids have to do. But like he said earlier, how are you checking in with your spouse to say, oh, what happened today? Tell me about your day and all of that. And sometimes even not coming with complaint or things that you want to. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes maybe something might have happened during the day that you're upset about. It's also a time to like let go of maybe what might have pissed you off and just really connect with your person again. Nobody is going to do that for you. That's what I think. Is that intentionality, friendship, communication, and you don't have to wait till it's the person's birthday or those grand gestures. I think for women a lot. I started by saying something about emotional awareness. A lot of men need to be emotionally aware before you even get to the point of emotional intelligence in terms of how you respond to the person's emotion. Just be aware, that temperature check. When this person is happy, we all know. We know when this person is like, they don't want to talk, and we just ignore it and leave them there and leave them in that space, and it lingers. But still try to make that connection on a daily basis. That's what I think.
Thank you so much, Edith. What you just expressed now, or what you just helped us to address now, is if the two couples, if both of them want to make it work.
Exactly.
Yes. But what if in this case of this lady now, she's the only one that is seeing it, the guy is not making time for them to talk?
Exactly.
You
Now,
want to come in there?
It's not making time for them to talk.
I was going to say something when she mentioned emotional awareness. Before the lady filed for a divorce, I'm sure if you had asked this guy how their marriage is, he would say they are fine. You understand?
Cool,
And that's why also he was surprised that she filed for a divorce. Now, you mentioned what if she's trying to get his attention and trying to have that conversation. I feel like it's a bit dicey for people that have children, because you mentioned they have a daughter. So what happens when people have children is one person is overwhelmed, and you know who that is, the woman, because he has already mentioned he works 10 hours shift, which means he's probably trying to cover up for balance the finances and stuff like that. So what that does is he feels like he's a savior.
If it's like that,
Yes, exactly. I'm working 10-hour shifts. I'm trying to provide. What I need from you is when I come back from work, let my food be ready, let everything be exactly. Speak and span, don't disturb my sleep. I sleep by 9. I go hang out with the boys every Friday, blah, blah. It's like he has his own routine planned out, and then she's not included. Now, the easiest way, because of course women have power, the easiest way to get his attention is alter that routine. I'm speaking as a man.
as a man,
Now,
let's hear.
if he has that routine that works 10-hour shift, comes back, his food is ready, this is it, just alter that shift, and trust me, you'll be able to get his attention. Now let me explain. He finishes his 10-hour shift, he comes back, there's no food. You're definitely going to ask, where is my food? That's number one. No. Because
it's not that you're going to stop.
Okay, so you just want to get
his attention. Yes, to get his attention, because he mentioned he doesn't look at her, he doesn't talk to her. So the way to get his attention is alter that routine. Where is my food? Then he's like, oh, now you know how important I am. That's one. Then you say, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't make the food before you got here. Then you start making the food.
As you're making the food, you're talking.
No, we should get a good response there because a hungry man is an angry
Yes,
man.
a hungry man is an angry man, but there are ways to do it, right? You apologize first
You
of
know the
all. You
strategy
don't.
in your
Yes,
mind.
exactly. So you don't come out as I've been busy, and
You know what
but then
you
you be like,
want.
oh, I'm so sorry.
And you
Like
present
then,
it
yes,
awkward, or-
exactly. So and of course because he knows that the food is always ready. You've never altered the routine
Hopefully.
for a very long time. And then you're now like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've been feeling unwell, blah, blah, or I had to take care of our daughter and stuff like that. And then you now start saying, oh, Jim, for
It's something
example,
we need to talk
yes,
about,
I think we
really.
need to really talk. As you're making the food, you're talking. You start chipping it in.
Because I feel
Even-
there should be
Yes,
there should have been times that
You
should
just
have even
call-
threatened him with that
call-
divorce
yes,
to say
exactly. Call it-
you're getting me at this age. Like going to it shouldn't the divorce paper should not be
the
the best.
first thing. Yes.
But it was just a question. Of,
Is there
might be
a
other
scenario where this
details.
woman would have probably not shown emotion or any sign and she just presented the papers to him? Meaning that, for example, she might have internalized everything and just observed. Is it possible that she has been watching and internalizing and she didn't say anything? And
that
she's just
case-
timing him in her mind, like if by this time
He doesn't-
hasn't come
he doesn't-
In
out.
that case, like you said before, if he was emotionally aware, because you can't live with someone and to the extent that you don't even know it when the person checked out.
There's a way a woman will be quiet, you'll be worried.
Understand? Or maybe the person is not even quarreling, but you know she's not asking for your attention the way she was asking before. There must be signs,
Yeah.
and if you don't see them, then
Yeah.
you're not looking
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
You're not observant.
Plot twist. What if the man has checked out too? I'll explain further. He doesn't have time for his wife, or he's not giving her the required attention. What if he's getting it outside? That's one. That's one. Secondly, what if he wanted to be the one to pull the divorce card, but she beat him to it?
You're thinking like a woman.
No. These are realistic things. Three. What if he felt like she can never leave me?
That's the main thing.
Because that's another problem with men, especially the ones that are workaholics. They feel like I'm the provider, I'm the
that's
savior.
some sign of
Yes, I'm all in all. This woman's not going anywhere. She's stuck with me. Besides, where's she going to? She doesn't have money.
have a lot.
Yes. So it's like she's going to take anything, basically. And then she pulled the divorce card, and this guy's
And
like,
like,
what? From where you get?
she outsmarted him.
These are other things to look at. But like you said, now back to your question. If some people have gotten to this point where this is where they are, no communication, they've checked out of the marriage and stuff like that. Like I said, I feel like the easiest way to get the attention of the man, alter the routine, just like she said. People need to be emotionally aware. Therapy helps as well. You know, speak to someone. If there's someone the man respects or listens to, it could even be his friends, the people he hangs out
I
with.
feel some couples
Yes.
just live isolated, and I don't think marriage is supposed to be in
Yeah,
isolation.
yeah.
I think God created marriages to thrive in community.
True.
It really matters who you are friends with, the community you belong to. Because see, now you guys are with us. We came we are just chatting up and something. Somehow, if one of us has an issue, of course we've talked about so many
Yeah.
issues. That's what community
Yeah.
does. You would we will treat so many things on very basic things that before it gets to one, you get it.
Yeah,
And I
true.
think that's what, but when people are isolated, they're not talking about, or they don't have anybody they are accountable to, there is a big problem there.
I think that accountability is the thing, though. I think the accountability is the thing, because people can have community, but they are not accountable to each other. Abel gave an example about we need to do marriage in community and all of that, and I'm like, I'm just thinking about it, and like a lot of the stories and even things that we see around us. People have community that they can tap into, but some people don't tap into it. And even when people tap into that community, they may not be accountable, because it takes a lot of accountability to take the recommendation or advice from each other. I think that accountability piece is also there. Oh, we've learned all these things and we've listened to all these things.
People
Find it difficult to learn, oh, girls.
One of our marriage coach, the person that coached us before we got married, we are still very much in touch. And sometimes we talk, you say, man, I'm learning this thing, and do you get it? You keep learning new ways to keep loving, because this marriage thing is for a long time. That's why sometimes it's easy to date someone. It's sweeter to date because marriage is for a lifetime. You are here, you've seen the you don't know the person facts this way before, but now you sleep, you wake up, now you see the person can.
They're snoring.
The person is snoring. The person, you know the worst of the person now. You know the weaknesses of the person. Now you're married to the good and everything, the bad part of the whole person. It takes a lot of intentionality to keep loving that person. You can't just wake up and say, oh, I'm in love. You have to work out that love. You have to decide to say, I will love you. Like, sometimes my husband will say, you don't have any choice. I've loved you already. You have already decided that no matter what you do today, tomorrow, and the next day, I'm going to love you.
Which is a positive. But then if you look at what like Prince said earlier, you just feel like this person is going to love you. This person is going to be there. And then some people, maybe they don't plan to weaponize it, but if you flip it on the negative side, that indifference or inaction, because you feel like that person is always there, is the issue. There has to be a switch or a balance. Like you said, dating feels sweeter because it keeps you on the edge. But you also have to have that mindset that even if you're married to this person, you have to not stay on the edge, but you have to again be intentional and aware that, oh, the things that got you here to be married now as a couple, from dating to marriage, you have to keep doing them.
I don't even. I've heard some couples say, I think I have a cousin that they don't call themselves
pet names,
husband and wife.
Oh,
it's babe. Oh, my boyfriend, my girlfriend.
Oh, so that doesn't sound serious. Yes, exactly. Like,
so you won't hear husband, wife.
I'm seeing things like that. Yeah,
they're just always on that dating thing like that.
Yeah,
because they want to feel like. I feel like you have an option.
Yes.
I have to be on your face.
I feel like you need to find what works for you, basically, because it's just so funny, because I think a few days ago, at home, my wife asked me.
Tell us.
She said, when last did you have me time? Because I think that's something that I used to do when we're dating. Most times, either at the beginning of the year or maybe somewhere in the middle of the year, I'll just have a brain scan, and I'm like thinking, where am I? What am I doing with myself this year and stuff like that. I'll just be like, you know what? I need to have like me time, maybe a day alone. I don't talk to you. I just want to recalibrate and stuff like that, or just think about my life, basically. And she just asked me like one evening after work, when last did you have your me time? I'm like, how are you get me time?
She's all over you.
She's all over me. And then also, I think there are some times when it's like she's talking with her siblings or her family or her friends. I'm like, when you're talking with your friends and I'm alone, I just have my me time quickly, briefly, because the minute she's done, she's back. Stuff like that too. Some people carry some attitudes and some characters to marriage, because for someone that is your spouse, they're in your face every day. Just like you said, your husband said, like, I don't love you, I don't love you. So they are with you for life. It's not left for you to say, this is my me time. Can we reschedule it in such a way that it doesn't affect the time I spend with my spouse? Yes, you're together in the same house. I'm sure there are times when you're away 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and stuff like that. And you can have your me time.
Sometimes our me time. Sometimes when he comes back from work, you stay in the car for.
Exactly. I was going to say that because I work on site, my wife works remote. So sometimes my lunch break is my me time.
Wow.
Yes, because I think I have like an hour break. So that's my me time, because most times we talk all day. I'll just update her like, oh, I just had this person coming, or my manager this, and just give her a brief rundown of my day. Sometimes my break is my me time. I just either use it to pray, or just think, or just rest and stuff like that. I feel like things like that to also affect people, because I think I also mentioned people that have children. It's a bit difficult. And just this morning we were talking about with some of our friends, that about paternity and maternity leave, and women want to have longer maternity leave, or would I say organizations give women longer maternity leave, but they don't do the same to fathers. And then I now mentioned, shouldn't there, because of course we know, like, feminism, everyone is trying to the whole equality, and and people are fighting, like, for women to have longer maternity leave and pay. And then I'm like, who's going to fight for the fathers? But then I now stopped in my tracks, and I'm like, wait, because I've talked to a few for lack of a better word, nursing fathers. I've talked to a few of them, and they see going to work as their way out,
Their escape.
as their escape. If you say, let us fight for fathers, they will say, who asked you to fight for us? Yes, exactly. It's a case of, we have most organizations are giving the fathers paternity leave of maybe 6 weeks or more or something. And then after that, they're like, thank God, I'm running away from the crying baby. And then I can
Back
sleep
to the
well.
story.
And
Who
then
is stuck?
The
The men can escape with the women having longer maternity leave, and it's like, oh, you want to go back to work 6 weeks,
see, guys,
but the woman is there.
See,
She's stuck
guys,
at home.
you have to be aware.
But I've seen couples where the man decided to stay and not. And
It's
work from
rare.
home.
There are, but it's rare.
Very, very
It's
rare. There's
very
one
rare.
guy on Instagram.
That you mean paternity leave?
No, not paternity. The wife
He's
went
the
back
primary
to her
parent.
job,
Okay.
and then the man is working from home and being the nursing father.
Me, I don't have it. I keep
don't
saying,
mind
I keep saying, wait, I keep saying it. I've told my wife, just get a job of 120K. I'll be a stay-at-home dad.
God will bless you with that job.
I like to cook and clean. I'll do
the baby out.
Yes, I don't mind.
I'm sure
I
you
can
like
cook,
it.
clean. Just buy me a Tesla. I do school run. I'm fine.
This guy is something. Wait,
Oh, you guys
No.
all right, we've digressed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just rounding up.
I think we've touched.
Yeah.
This question hits me because it's a very relatable one. I've seen it happening over and over again with young couples, with older couples, with diaspora marriages, people that are still trying to settle into the country, finding what works for them, and one person is feeling neglected, the other spouse is feeling like you don't have time for me. The other person is like, guy, and there's no middle ground. I just hope this video has been able to just give a little shed some light on it. If the two people are trying to find it again, I just believe that there's no relationship or there's no marriage that is irreconcilable when two people are agreeing to talk about it, agreeing to not be the stubborn one, or two people are just trying to make it work. It takes two, really. But when there's one spouse, just like the case of this lady, when there's one spouse that wants to check out and the other person is not, possibly look for other things, that get a counseling or get a coaching course that you guys can come together, just something that will pull you out of the routine, like Prince said, that will just pull you out into a space for you guys to just talk about this. Because I think some years ago, my church does this thing that is a marriage course that bring couples to just come out on a particular day, every evening, give them like a dinner setting and just get them to talk. Just to talk. No preaching, no nothing. They just watch a few clips and then they talk. Connection, bonding. And I feel couples need that every now and then, whether you're married in a good place or you're still trying to find out some things. Just get yourself out, go for dinner, or just send kids somewhere or keep them in the room and you guys just sit down and say, let's talk about this thing. And you just want to listen and make it work.
Totally random. Let's not trivialize people's issue. But do you think talking is easy?
It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy.
I don't think talking is easy. It takes a lot of courage.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. But I think the more you do it,
it becomes easier with time. Because I just didn't want us to say, just talk, talk, like it comes easy to everyone. I don't think it's easy.
It's really not. Talking is not easy. Listening is not so easy. Because there's also the part where the guy can sit down and say, let's talk. and then in the middle of
Yeah,
and
you're
then,
not ready to talk.
and then probably midway conversation, one person walks out.
But it's still the way to go, because the more you keep pushing it, the more it keeps getting difficult to talk through. It's just like quarrel. It's just like quarreling with someone. The more you're saying, "Oh, I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk," the more it gets more difficult. The more time you're spending, the more the distance is widening. And that is why we tell couples, don't even let that gap be, because there's no vacuum. You think that you guys are not talking, but there's a distance that is. The more you don't talk, the distance is getting wider and wider. Every day you don't talk, the distance is getting wider and wider. And I said, they talk about everything and anything, even though it doesn't make sense. Just talk. This is the person you're supposed to flirt with and be your gossip partner and talk about everything. It's not only when you want to say I love you, or you want to say emotional things. Like, you talk to your spouse, talk about anything. I went to work today, this is what happened. And that's how bonding builds. That's how relationship builds, right? So it gets harder when you don't do it. But if you've not been doing it before, just try, make that conscious step. The more you do it, the more it becomes very natural. If you guys want to talk about things, you don't need to go home and say, let's sit down on the table and talk. You just do like this and you laugh. You guys don't talk about it.
But let's also not take for granted that as much as we find it easy to talk and everything, something else that has just come to my mind is that there's a way to talk. Because there are rules of talking. Because as we are just talking, I'm just like, yes, I agree. But we were just watching a show yesterday where a couple, they were like, the more they talk, the more they fought. They had more arguments while they were talking.
So so it was so better to be quiet.
There's also a way.
Even when they were in front of a therapist, they were arguing.
The two people were talking.
Yes, they were arguing.
Nobody wants to listen.
Yeah, basically.
There's basically a way to talk. There are people that talk and you're talking and like before you even say anything, they're insulting you, they've diminished your self-esteem. There's a way to talk. As much as we are saying talking, there are like caveats to it. There's a way to talk. It's a lot, Sha. There's the timing, knowing when to say certain things and all of that.
There are things that have definitely happened before they got there.
Definitely.
Because I don't want to say that's how they were dating.
No, definitely not.
But there are people that are just abusive, verbally abusive. You want to talk and they've just abused your whole life. They'll just insult you. And you can't have like a meaningful conversation
who that
with
person was when they were dating.
Some people feel they can live with it until until they're married. Yes, they feel like it's nothing. And then when you get into it, when you're married, it's like the whole page is
like it wasn't.
It becomes worse.
I'm just hoping everyone just wishing you well in your relationships and marriages. And we hope this video helps one person. We'll keep making our marriages work and our relationships work. Thank you, Prince and Edith. I just wish we can keep going on.
I know, right?
No,
and you guys have the precious and professional and valuable Mabel on here. So she can always answer your question.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
See you on that next video.
All right, see you. Bye.